taken off the board, meaning that a early pickup on
Ziggs, okay. The beginning of, once again,
if this is actually...
Ziggs is coming back.
We were joking earlier about Ziggs support, right?
Yeah.
So I assume this is just Gumayushi locking in Ziggs. I love Ziggs. I think it's a pick that has really been underappreciated recently. We saw it in quite a... KERIA loves his pike.
A Mumu.
Rakan!
Oh. Haven't seen this guy for a little bit here at the LCK. That sign asks, okay, what is KERIA going to pick today? Could be this Jhin support. Could be the answer for him. It seems like he, saw a couple of small head nods. It's like looking at the coach like, can I do it? Can I play Twitch? No, he's going to play Jhin. I would assume this. Here we go. Game number 1 of what could be a very fun and interesting series with lots of weird picks. Will T1 just 2-0 it again today? Note that they are... it is possible to beat them. We did see that DK was able to take a game off of them in their series, and it looked quite strong. DK obviously a very strong team, but
even KT did. Remember that?
Yeah, even
not sure, but they will also be squishy, and they will be very susceptible to getting dove by a Maokai, by an Aurelia, by an Rakan jumping on top of them. But if T1 play this out in any way, oh yeah, I haven't even.
Oh no, is he just dead? Oh my God!
On!
2 minutes and 22 seconds. Just mark it.
As I was saying, if you never get to play the game because your laning phase gets completely gapped, then it doesn't matter. Because you won't have the damage, and you won't be able to walk up ever.
It's definitely one of the lanes where we expected T1 to excel, like just in a 1v1. So
and gets the extra couple of orders in with the transformation. Really nicely done.
Oh, the satchel is big. The root is also a great follow-up. The ignite is in, and the autos come in as well. As Ziggs 1 was in the air, didn't quite see that, as now Owner's in the bottom side. Guys, what is going on?
They're not going to play the game!
Come on! This is just not fair.
They're not going to be able to play the video game.
What happened to good old-fashioned League of Legends? What is this?
It's done!
Oh, man. Okay, well, KERIA's going to pick that kill up as in goes Zeka, trying to take a big trade onto Faker, and, he does win it. They're going to need him.
Well, at least Faker is kind of screwed, so Owner's going to have to come over and help here. Maybe that's an opportunity because his lane is shoving away from him. So he just gets a run down. KERIA, not even with his 4th shot. That's a 3rd shot kill as
Okay,
Faker.
Well, here comes KERIA. He's trying to get on top of them as now he's going to be the victim. He doesn't have flash, so he's just going to die. And he does come over, and guess what? He gives a shutdown to Aurelia. So after all that, he keeps Faker alive, I suppose, but he's also going to gift a kill, a shutdown kill to Zeka's Aurelia.
Very important, because basically not afford any hesitation, especially when it comes around objective fights in the future. If they hesitate, they get poked down, they are in deep trouble. As long as they don't do that, it should be fine.
Yeah. KERIA's here, just supporting Faker. It's definitely going to be an issue as Zeka just goes in for the plate, takes a turret shot and has to flash away. Meanwhile, the Jhin is nearby. Faker definitely looking for this as there's the deadly flourish, and Zeka is in some trouble. He's got the shot, does KERIA, and a bit of a overextension here from Zeka means that this mid lane is going to get a bit easier.
Well, Faker didn't get the kill, but maybe it's even better that KERIA did, I guess. At this point, no, it's not. It should have gone to Kassadin, but you don't really have a choice in that scenario, obviously.
This early game lead, a thing for themselves, and at least pick up some early objectives. Especially with the way the early game has gone, I think this is a nice approach, because even though T1 can win in some lanes, I'm not sure if they're ready to 5v5.
Also, Hanwha Life in general on their rotations looking a lot crisper here. I think a problem that we had as... We're going to take a look at this first, and then we'll go back, talk about the macro a little bit there. As... Oh, yeah. Zeka, I think, gets pranked, thought that the minion wave was going to walk up just a little bit faster. Then he would have just gotten the plate for free. Instead, gets taken down, unfortunately. Gets surprisingly close if life is a couple of seconds earlier. My pay is there. I don't even think you need to. Is also on a ward, so we do see Humble Life immediately responding. Will play towards this dragon. We'll have confirmation now that there is no one in the area, but I think diving Cassante is definitely a risk. However, if KERIA and Faker are there, I'm not going to be too worried, and Kingen seems to have gotten the memo.
Yeah.
Plus, if Ghost in his ultimate, I think he might be able to get out here.
He's going to dodge one, dodge a lot actually. He's just playing Frogger at this moment in time, but not sure if he can get out. He's trying to trade onto Faker, gets decently close. And Zeus will take the kill in the end, which will mean a huge chunk of plates in the top side.
Yeah, never mind. He ain't getting out. Nice collapse found there by T1. Kubayushi might get caught in the rotation
here.
here.
Is dead. It's okay. There's a Rakan. And Life is like, wait. Okay, so with the TP, we didn't quite see that at first. I thought he was just backing away, letting him live. But yep, TP does come in. They will hold on to the mid turret, but this one will fall at 12 minutes. And they'll give the majority of that plate gold to Zeus.
There we go. Well, that's an example. If you can catch them unaware, once you're on the back line, you still have an incredible amount of power here. But you got to find those engages.
Okay, Smite does go the way of Owner. Clid just standing on top of it, trying to zone them, but the Ziggs is here, and the poke begins, essentially. His Life is looking for an engage, but he might just die, as he's going to eat a Sejuani ult in the face. In goes Zeka, though. He's going to isolate Zeus. That is how you defeat a poke comp, is you get right on top of them. And Humble Life Esports has been able to do this, as Faker going to flash the wall here, and he will just barely get away, but scary moments. You could see that too when we're like, oh crap, we got to get out of here. But they did still take down the Rift Herald.
Yes, but I'd say it's a favorable trade because, again, Zeka gets the kill. That's the second shutdown that he's been fed. This time around, it's Zeus' shutdown. The downside is you're playing into Ziggs, so actually sieging is pretty excruciating experience. Yeah, just no. But
they do get Drake.
If Humble Life is able to pick up a second Drake here, that's big.
Mountain Drake too.
And it's exactly what we talked about. Yes, the poke from T1 is very good, but they have so much hard engage, right? The effective range between Aurelia, Maokai, and the Rakan is incredible. So for T1, it really boils down to, can you play out these initial starts of the fight perfectly? And in that case, Zeus unfortunately gets... I think they're going to have to, as a poke comp especially, the extra movement speed that is given to the enemy on a cloud, so I think is actually really relevant. Question is, will they be in a position? Again, I do think T1 is still in a pretty commanding leader. I think that they should be able to win objective fights. Hold up, TP coming through.
Zeus doesn't have flash. I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. The Sedge ult goes wide, and they are just bullying this Chase so much for getting ahead. As he will get down, Viper's going to take the kill. And, you know, not much happening right now on the map. They're like, oh, let's just get on top of this Jace that doesn't have flash.
Do note that that was a teleport investment from Kingen, and Faker is still farming in the top half of the map. However, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much of that is going to matter when it comes to the upcoming fight, because at this point it looks likely that T1 is going to want a 5v5 for that one anyway. As
trying to get on top of Guma here, as the ult will come out, and Kingen may have overstepped his bounds, but was it a bait all along? Faker gonna get chained under the turret, and now Clid is here. He's just dead. That's another kill given over to this, and how great he is at this champion, just straight up. Like, it's gonna be very difficult to handle this, as now he's just gonna go for the Baron. Humble Life Esports going to set up the turn.
Yeah, they want to fight. They were looking for a turn here. They have all the tools.
They absolutely do. The poke not necessarily landing there at all. Zeus not going to hit it. Guma not really going to hit it. That's some nice shots from KERIA, but now they got to get into the pit. As down goes Clid, he is so low, and Ziggs is going to get the Baron. Humble Life Esports do not turn. They just decide, okay, we're going to stay on the Baron. And because of that, they just go down. And now KERIA's just flashing on them. Viper and Kingen just have to run away with their tail between their legs, and
you throw that ultimate out from Maokai, and then you flash after it. Whoever you hit, you burst down. That's how you gotta play these fights.
You press all your buttons, and you kill one or two members of T1, and then maybe you take this next Cloud Drake, and then maybe you take the next Baron. You weren't... This isn't the comp that rushes down Baron at 21 minutes. Player who like went for the the unique pick.
So is it... Well, you do like voting for KERIA. Oh, Faker.
True. Well, there is a Maokai nearby. Can they CC him 100-0? I think he just already into the team. Not 100% sure. Maybe they just got him. Either way.
Incredible amount of vision, incredible amount of control. So actually finding an angle as Home Alive now should not be a possibility.
So what happens when that poke comp gets ahead, you see Home Alive Esports, they can't even use their engage. The exhaust comes in from Faker on top of Viper, as now we got the turnaround. Massive knock-up on a 3, but what does it matter for? Zeka not able to get on in there, and Faker is just a menace in this backline. Zeka is still doing some crazy stuff. KERIA gonna land that deadly flourish, and that looks like the last potential fight of the game, as actually they are pinging onto Baron. Maybe they'll just take both at the same time.
Might as well not take the risk, right? Just go for the surefire win. Your poke comp, so your siege with Baron is revolting. As such, T1 are going to be able to... Yeah, I kind of thought they were going to go for both as well, but this dragon is not... It's not a player in this game. It's merely... It's there,
a bystander.
Yeah, it's just watching.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Things are happening on the Rift. Zeus will...
I mean, it's level 16.
So what is happening here as well, as we are about to say goodbye to this game?
Hey, Nature's Grasp.
One more try.
We do have the flank coming on in. This could be the angle here for Zeka. Zeus does have a stopwatch, but he's getting dunked on. And there it is, 100-0. Home Alive Esports find the angle, and now KERIA is also going to get caught out, as Faker and Owner will find an angle here in mid, at least for their sake. Going to take down this inhibitor. Doesn't look like they will get there.
Who's going to win?
Faker's waiting, I think.
This is amazing.
There's a couple there. There's one.
That's the big one. But they know, because that one is actually blocking vision.
There was one in the lane.
So that one T1 is aware of.
In the top lane, but they cleared it. Okay, see, this is the issue. Like, Asante can live, but he can't stop Faker. So Faker's just taking 2 inhibitors for free. And Cassante can't do anything about it. I mean, okay, they are going to have the team rotate over now, and Faker doesn't have Zhonya, so that's going to be a kill onto the Kassadin. As inhibitors are going down, and there is that flank TP. Zeka's over the wall. Owner with a nice interrupt, but it's not going to be enough, as there is the kill. They get on top of the Ziggs. Home Alive Esports, they find a way to win this team fight, as the Owner will eventually go down, and a couple of members of T1 will survive, but Home Alive Esports will hold on.
And even with all of T1's best efforts at trying to ensure that they get H, it doesn't really matter that much, as Faker is a man on a mission.
Yeah, it really just comes down to who's going to execute these team fights better.
And like I said, can TP into the base.
But no, there's Nexus turrets available. Viper's getting pretty low. Redemption going to be huge, by the way. That was picked up here, as now the flank comes in. Sejuani ultimate in there, and they are once again in the shooting gallery. Please turn this time, Home Alive Esports. Will you turn? It's going to be Varus who picks up the Baron, as Faker's just going to delete the Rakan. The damage is huge from the side of Faker. Can he do it all alone? It's kind of Faker versus Zeka here, as the damage from Zeka is trying to get on top of Zeus, but he will go down to the GA. And unfortunately now he is all alone and will eventually get taken out. There's the TP, as T1 finally will break the backs and will break the base of Home Alive Esports.
And after an exhausting chess match, in the end, Home Alive feel obliged to go in there. If they don't get that Baron, if they don't fight for it, I think you lose the game anyway with 3 inhibitors down. There's no way that you can hold. And T1, 43 minutes. How long it took them to get here, but even with how that game felt like a back and forth, when you look at the gold graph, when you look at the objectives, is going to tell